it's Paul. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about how I got into CRNA school with average stats. Many of you watching this may already know how competitive it is to get into CRNA school and the application process. First, I'm going to tell you what my stats were when I first applied to programs and what I did to boost my application. A little bit of background on me. I have been a nurse for a little over 3 years now, and when I first applied to programs, I had about a year and a half to 2 years of ICU experience. It was my first time applying to schools, and I applied to 3, and I interviewed with 2, and I got into 1. Right when I graduated, I worked straight in an ICU in a level 1 trauma, high acuity surgical ICU. I started travel nursing about a year and a half of being a staff nurse, and since then I've taken about 6 to 7 contracts now, and all of them are level 1 trauma centers and they are high acuity ICUs. For my GRE score, my score was a whopping 292. Most schools on average want at least a 300 or around that score range. And the writing portion, I scored a 3.5. I've only taken the GRE once, and I studied for about 2 to 3 weeks while working full time. So about 4 days on average with 6 to 8 hours each day on Magoosh. I used a lot of practice exams on Magoosh. I did one writing exam just to get a feel for it, and I really practiced on areas that I needed the help the most. When it came to my GPA, I had a total GPA of 3.8, and my nursing GPA was a 3.3. Now, many programs can weigh GPAs very differently. They may focus just on your total GPA, or they may focus on your nursing or science GPA. And feel free to reach out to these programs and ask them how you can make your application better or how you can boost your GPA. They may tell you the exact courses they recommend, although that doesn't guarantee an interview or acceptance from them. So what else did I do to boost my application? One of the best things you can do to boost your application are certifications. I have my CCRN and TCRN, and also I have my PALS on top of my BLS and ACLS when I applied. Having these certifications really show these programs that you've taken the time out of your free time out of work to study and take these tests, and how determined you are to continue to sharpen your knowledge and skills. Getting recommendations, I heard from other people who have applied to programs as well, can be the hardest or most time-consuming part. And it's even harder as a travel nurse. I've seen a lot of people ask about how do you go about getting letters of recommendation when you're a travel nurse. Make sure you make good connections wherever you're working. I wrote very genuine letters to the people I asked for recommendations that really highlighted my passion for critical care and anesthesia. I also wrote about reminding them of the time we worked together. I remained in touch with all of my professors, my colleagues, my managers, and doctors that I worked with. I got a really good letter of recommendation from one of my attendings that I worked with when I was a new grad nurse in my ICU. Even after years later, I reached out to him, and he is one of the head attendings of the anesthesia team in that hospital. And he wrote me such a good letter of recommendation. Programs will require them to submit their letter online, and some of them may not show you what they wrote. And I've heard from one of the conferences I've been to, sometimes people get really bad letters of recommendation. So make sure that you know that that person will write you a solid and genuine letter of recommendation. Some other things you can add to your resume are joining committees. Joining committees in your unit can really show your involvement and participation. I was the chairperson of the innovation committee in my unit. It was my job to rally people from the unit, or at least try to, every month to talk about what we could do to make the unit better. And one of the projects we had was a trauma manual. It was so much fun, and it basically was this little book that highlighted procedures and specific drugs we used in the unit. We had a lot of flow nurses, new nurses, and experienced nurses as well who just needed a reference guide for whenever they needed to look something up. There are a ton of committees out there. You can also make your own if you don't have any. I've seen the CLABSI or CAUTI or engagement committee. Another thing is precepting or charge experience. I didn't have any charge experience on my resume, but I did have precepting experience, so it's just an added bonus on there to sprinkle on top. Your resume and personal statements need to be neat and follow the program's exact guidelines. A lot of programs will tell you exactly how they want your resumes laid out and what questions they want answered for your personal statement. Get a CRNA or a mentor to proofread your personal statements so they can really tell you what you need to work on in your statement. Remember to make your application shine. There are a lot of other applicants with the same exact experience as you, with even better scores on their GRE or better GPA, but you can make your application even better by doing these tips and tricks. Lastly, once you get that interview invite, make sure you do everything you can to get the best interview possible. Once they see you in person and you can really show them what you're made of and how much you know, that really seals the deal. If you guys want me to do an interview video or tips to help you with that process, let me know and comment down below. I'd be happy to make any type of videos you guys would like. So I hope this helps anyone out there currently applying who are doubting your stats and can I get in with this score and this GPA? I definitely was in your shoes. Also, take time to really focus on your achievements, everything you've accomplished so far, and keep working on getting your application better and better. Don't lose hope, and there are a lot of resources out there to help you out, and please feel free to message me with any questions you guys have. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you next time. Bye!